Okay, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever it is you are joining us from. Thank you for joining us. This is Living LTV Live with me, Dr. Benga Adebayo. And today we are taking on that important topic, understanding men, making your relationships better. First, let me apologize that we could not come online last week. We're going to take this topic last week, but things did not go as planned. All right, so we had to postpone to this week, and I'm grateful. I'm glad that we are here today, and we'll be discussing it. So we want to understand men better. I think relationships are powerful. Relationships are important, and there are various levels, various types of relationships we have, and then of course the intimate kind of relationships we have with a partner is an important area of relationship. So today we're going to be looking at understanding men. Last time, 2 weeks ago, we took a look at understanding women, making the most of your relationship, and we said that there are differences between men and women, and not minding all the jokes that were out there about women, what a woman does. And somebody said a book that there was a book understanding men. It was just maybe a couple of pages, and then understanding women was volume one, volume two, volume three, volume four, and on and on. But I don't think that is that difficult. Yes, there are differences between male and female, and a lot of those differences are not just physiological, they are not just physical, so to speak. A lot of those differences, a number of those differences are also cultural, they are environmental induced. What the society expects from a man is different from what the society expects from a woman. But before we go right into the meat of our discussion today, if this is your very first time of joining us, please go ahead and give us a shout out. Let us know right there. Drop a comment. Would love to hear from you. And if you have not subscribed to this channel before now, please go right ahead. Subscribe to this channel, share this video. Let me hear from you. Let me have a like. And even if you dislike it, let me also have that dislike. Let's know what you don't like about this production and how we can improve and make it better. Yes. So we're looking at the difference between men and women. Now, male and female, understanding men with the aim of making our relationships better. And this can be important. Some of those differences are not particularly gender differences. They could just even be human differences. But generally speaking, men and women are different. And we said last time out, I love the differences. I love at least the physiological differences between a male and a female are driven by the hormone testosterone. No, it's just so it doesn't even matter whether you are XX, if you are or you are XY. If you are XY and then you have androgen insensitivity, so you are producing testosterone, but for one reason or the other, your body is not responding to that testosterone. You are going to develop like a female. So that's why we have all the intersex issues coming up, clinically speaking. So that's why we are, because testosterone drives and the differences are there, the mental changes, the physical changes, it just drives those differences. So what do you need to know about your man? What are some of the things that you need to know that if you understood them, right, that they will make a whole lot of difference. Part of the things I like to say, tying it with last week, actually in a relation, because we're talking about relationships, in a relationship mode, is that sex for a man and sex for a woman are totally different things. No, we started saying last week that a man has sex with you doesn't necessarily mean that is really that is really loves you. But a woman, generally speaking, if a woman has sex with you, it wants to be intimate with you because she sees it as the ultimate act of of intimacy. So, and that leads us to there are differences between how males and females see sex and what sex does for them. So, for instance, a man is always producing semen, is always producing sperm cells are ever being produced. And it gets to a stage, so he wants to release those stem cells. So, for a man, often sex is a need, right? Men often need to have sex. So, the longer a man does not have sex, the more he feels like having sex, right? The more a man does not have sex, the more the urge for him to have sex. Why? He's going to start to have a build-up of semen. He's going to have it because it's also always producing uh, sperm cells. So he's going to have the physical urge. So he's going to have an engorged prostate gland. He will feel like emptying is prostate gland, and so he wants to do that. So and the converse is the case for a woman. The less a woman has sex, right, the less she feels like having sex. That's opposite. And the more she has sex, the more she feels like having sex. Totally different from what happens to a man, right? Okay, somebody asked a question. What that expression of testosterone, is that why we have gay people? No, no, no. We now, so the reason why we have gay people, I think gayishness is also due to it's also due to social cultural differences. Some people will say, oh, is there a gene? I don't think so. We've not been able to say this is a gene that makes somebody gay or not. So gay is totally different. Gay homosexuality has a lot of it's a whole lot of controversial areas, has to do with social cultural issues, religious issues. So now, what I'm talking about is intersex. So we're talking about the science, the genetics of sexuality. So if you have a Y chromosome, you're a male, so XY. But we have some people that have Y chromosomes and yet they look like female, right? So they may have undescended sexes, they might have all kinds of stuff. So people, they discover them early, yeah, they might need to remove those, especially if they discover it late, they might need to remove those undecided sexes, and that person grows up. Because gender, we must also remember that gender has environment, social, cultural issues. But there are some cultures where even somebody does not have uh, genetic, this genetically male, the family just chooses, we want to raise this person as a female, right? So they dress, give the person dresses, make the person, and then the person is raised as a female. So so we're not really talking about that. Today, what we're talking about is relationships generally, and like I said, the issues we are discussing are both clinical and both physiological, and because gender rules have a lot of cultural issues surrounding them. So, for instance, now culturally, it's deemed that men should not be emotional, and so it fits a stereotype that males don't try to show their emotions. So they just try to bottle it up. But meanwhile, males also have emotions. But generally speaking, it is not really acceptable for a man to be emotionally expressive. I know in the African culture, or to my knowledge, if a man is being expressed, why are you doing like a woman? Have you heard that before? Have you heard somebody rebuking a child? Why are you playing like a woman? Why are you doing like being expressed? Because men are not meant to be that expressive. So if a man, for instance, starts to cry in this environment, whoa, it's taken to be a big deal. Why is it? So it's a macho. The macho ideal is that men don't cry. Men don't cry, but we know that they do. That has nothing to do with genetics. Men also have lacrimal glands, so they have tear ducts, so they can cry, and they do cry. Men do cry, and so speaking about relationships, like I said, and then we'll still talk a little bit. You have to ask questions. We'll answer those questions. Why do uh, men have? So, like I said, men need to have sex. If they have the need, they have the urge. So the less they have sex, the more, all things being equal, that they feel like having sex, as opposed to women, where the less they have sex, the less they feel like having sex. Because the less a woman has sex, the less she produces oxytocin. So and that's the bonding hormone, that's the feel good hormone. So the more a woman has sex, remember we talk about habit sometimes back when we talk about cue. When you have a cue, you have a response and you have a reward. So the reward for a woman often is oxytocin. So that bonding hormone, that hormone that makes you feel good, is that same hormone that the woman releases that helps her to bond with her baby. When they breastfeed, when they helps to bond. So when a woman has sex with a man and they have sex more frequently, she releases more oxytocin, and then she feels like having it more, and then she bonds more um, with the man. So you need to understand. So all women folk out there, you need to understand that for men, sex is often a need. It's something that they want, that they feel they would need, they have to have. So that's why a man can sleep with you and have no emotional. It's just like eating. It's just like eating food or taking a snack. It's not really. There's no emotion. There need not be an emotional component to that interaction for it to be pleasant or enjoyable for him, and as opposed to a woman, because there's an emotional attachment to that. So what else are some of the things that we need to understand about the psyche of a man as you want the best for your man? One of the things that men also want is respect, right? And I think this is geared in, is a social cultural construct, and maybe it's a biological construct, because by nature of the way our species are, men are the protector. They are the alpha, amongst human animals and stuff. So there'll be somebody in the family unit that has the alpha role. The alpha role is the person that wants to be at the top, wants to be strong, wants to be there. So generally speaking, men are alpha. They want to rule, they want to dominate, they want to be the top dog, so to speak. So men want respect. Now, for different people, it means different things. It means different roles, different. That understanding is different. I read a story recently of a man that got married. So after he got married, he in his tribe, the way they eat fish is such that the head of the home is the one that eats the head of the fish, because the head is the head, because the head feels like I'm the head, so I have to eat the head of the fish. So he got married to a woman from another tribe, and our own was different. So first time they ate fish together, the woman gave the chap the tail, gave him the tail of the fish, and gave a tail and a middle, and gave herself just one middle to eat, right? And the guy was eating the tail, and he was fuming inside him, but he controlled himself. He controlled himself. Like, okay, this is a new marriage. I don't want us to scatter our marriage. I will eat this tail gently. So he ate the tail. So the next meal, she gave him another middle, and she ate the head. Wow, the man just blew up. How can you give me the middle and you are eating head, and you are eating, and that shows the differences in culture, because he felt he deserved the respect, and of course the lady also felt she was giving him respect, because where she came from, they don't even eat head. Head was seen as something that you threw away as waste, because I can eat head with all so she felt she was humbling herself, eating the head, while she was giving him honor, giving him the choicest part of the fish, which was the tail that, according to, as far as she was concerned, had the best, most meat on it, and differences, right? So differences, those differences, uh, learning led to an issue, and thank God, communication. So whatever relationship you are in, Communication is vital. Speaking out, learning how to communicate, especially when you feel hot. Anybody can say anything when they're happy. That's what I keep saying to people. You can be the best Romeo when everything is fine. What really reveals the strength and the depth of your relationship is what are the things you say when you're upset. Did you get that? So it doesn't matter with anybody you relate with. So whether it's a colleague at work, whether it's a friend, whether it's your child, anybody, your family members, you can always say good things when you are happy. I think anybody can. Anybody can say fantastic things when they are happy, when everything is fine. They can, they will do so. But what you say when you are upset, when you are angry, the things that you do. I've seen people throw tantrums and say all kinds of crazy stuff simply because they're angry. They dredge up things that happened, 10 years ago. That's how you did 15 years ago. That's how you did in 1952. What? You kept that in your mind for 30 years? You kept that in your mind for 40 years? Oh no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Communication, right? So we said uh, two things now that I think men want. Men, they need respect, and this is very important. So if you marry these two things together, respect and the need for sex, it may make you understand why a man may have a gorgeous wife outside and fall for his fat, ugly secretary, right? You'll be wondering what you have this beautiful, well-cultured person as a wife at home. Then why are you messing up with this so-called um, fat? Uh, why are you doing that? So because he sees that person says, "What are you doing, sir? Welcome, sir. God bless you, sir. Thank you, sir." Yeah, secretary. Yeah, or you see a man. If you merge that together too, so it may mean why a man will enjoy sex better with someone that also milks his ego, that tells him, "Oh, you are nice." And if pornography is also tailored to milk that and make a man feel good, but we know that pornography is myth. It's false. It's fake. It's fake, right? But so understand it that a man needs to have sex, and a man wants respect. What are the other? What's the other one of that? Okay, let's really take some of these questions. Is it okay for a man to stay without sex? Well, yeah, it's okay. Of course, it's okay. But when we say that you can stay without sex for your whole life, whether male or female, you don't need to. You don't have to have sex, right? It's not. There's no physiological harm that will happen to you because you've not had sex, either male or female. I've seen some females being tricked by somebody and say the reason why you have fibroid is because you've not had sex. No, not true. That's not true. So the reason why you are having painful menses is because you've not been having sex. So you need to have sex so that your menses will not pain you, or a man. But we know, having said that, let me just strike some balance. We know that some evidence suggests that men that have sex more often are more protected from prostate cancer than those that do not. Is that an incidental finding? Is that real? Is it no? Is it just? Is it? We don't know. But so it may be safe to have sex more, or to have sex as frequently as you can, right? But it doesn't now mean that because sex is not without its risks, especially if you're having unprotected sexual intercourse. So that's the So there's no physiological harm that we can say definitively today that if you don't have sex, oh, this is going to happen to you. You're going to know. There's nothing like that, right? At this time. Okay, great. So what we're saying is that just understanding the differences between a man and a woman, the way they approach and see these things. That's what we are trying to say. What other thing do men want in relationships? I think men want good food, right? A good meal. It's strange. I don't know how that equation works, but looking at just observing, this is a sociological observation now. There's something about food, right? There's just something about food. I don't fully understand it. So this is more of like an observation. Food does things to people, right? Especially when combined with alcohol. Food and alcohol, or good food, those things. Somebody, it's said in this environment that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I think there's some validity to that statement. If you can give your man good food, give him great sex, and respect him, a man will probably want to do anything for you. So, like we said on the other side too, if you can give a woman a sense of security, right? Give her intimacy, and the part of that intimacy includes the ability to say sweet nonsense. How do you know what sweet nonsense is? No, you may think I am, no, I love you now. I've told you I loved you. I've told you I've loved you last week. But we've seen upstanding, great women, that righteous women. In fact, there was this friend speaking to some years ago. She just found herself being led because this guy makes her feel great, speaks to her, listens to her, tell her that's beautiful. It makes her make things she's making sense. Tells how fantastic, how beautiful she is, how lovely she is, how dirty she is. Righteous Christian woman, little by little, in her heart, she has started committing adultery, right? In her heart, because sweet nonsense works. Sweet nonsense, yeah, good food, great sex, and respect. If you can give your man those three things, you will win. And when I read in the Bible and I see a king say to a woman, "Ask me up to half of my kingdom," I just go like, how did this guy? What have they done with this guy? You up to half of my kingdom. Ask me. That's the power of women. Yeah? That's the power of respect. And if you see it in those scriptures, those stories, it's things of respect, right? Have to do with making the man feel great, making the man feel powerful. And the man, so in the euphoria of the moment, funny enough, those people never asked for half of the kingdom. I don't know why they didn't ask for half of the kingdom. Because if it was me, I would have asked for all those things they were asking for. If they have half of the kingdom, then they can now ask for those other things. But they didn't ask for half of the kingdom. So ask me anything up to half of my kingdom. That's the power of women. And if you understand a man, if you know, you can get more than half of the kingdom. You can get the whole kingdom if you understand the keys to a man's heart, right? So men, women, male, female, we have these differences. And to understand those differences, look out for the differences in your spouse. Pay attention to it. I'm learning to look out for the differences in the way my wife and I think. If my wife, okay, for instance, recently we just had a photo shoot. Um, so she just said, "Oh, we're going to do a photo shoot for one of for our son's birthday." I said, "Okay, we do a photo shoot." For me, photo shoot just mean, okay, we just take photos. We just take pictures. Okay, I'll just take the pictures. We've always been taking pictures. And this was months in advance. Months in advance. Like 4 months in advance. I just knew she bought a cap, bought art, bought material, bought fabric, was sewing clothes for them. I didn't know she was planning. Praying for the photo shoot. And I okay, sure. And we did. She did all those things, and then Suddenly it was the day of the photo shoot. She said, okay, are we doing photo shoot today? I said, yeah, we're doing the photo shoot today. Are you not going to, who's going to shoot us? I'm going to shoot you. Because to some degree. Then who is going to shoot you when you shoot us? I thought I would try to sort that. But this is what I've been working for months. I didn't know. I just thought you want me to just. So that's the difference. The difference is maybe not particularly Milan, but I just wanted to do what she wanted to do. She had thought out, planned, was invested in it. I just thought, just take pictures and go away. So we got to the studio, started taking pictures, prop. Won't you take with us? Didn't you say you are going to take with us? How are you not going to take with us? Okay. Just quickly set up the camera and then did self-portrait. That was the first time I was going to try to do a self-portraiture. And at the end of the pictures, they were gorgeous. And I have to thank God that for my wife and the effort she made to make sure that I was in those pictures. So I appreciate our effort in planning in advance, and I hope she appreciates my own difference in just being the guy that just wants to do what you want to do at the moment and solving what is in your front at the moment, right? So understand. In your spouse, there'll be differences. Right? We must respect those differences, respect those differences, and work with them, right? If men are different, women are different, but without men, the world will be a boring place. And without women as well, wow. The world will be less colorful. So if you understand the way the other sex thinks and looks at things, I think we'll make more allowances for our differences and be happier together. The world is better, is a better place that I think God and female, He made them. So let's just recognize those differences and work with them. So if we have questions, I'll be happy to take those questions. We spent 30 minutes, right? We spent 30 minutes. That everybody can rush to do other things that they want to do. Please remember to share this video. If you've not shared it, please share it right now with your friend. Please, also, if you have not joined us on Health Express is our Telegram platform where there are a lot of goodies and a lot of things that we do there geared towards health. Currently, we've been able to secure a discount for dental procedures. We have a voucher. Anybody that has dental procedures and needs a voucher for that purpose, please. You want to go and shine your teeth. You want your teeth to look finer, right? You want to look better, Thankfully, a good look is it's good. It's good to look good. Looking good is godly, like they say. So you can reach out to us on that group, Health Express, and get your own voucher. All right. If there are no questions, I'll be happy to. This sex food, personally, no, it's not for all. He said this sex food and respect, is it for all men? Personally, I'm not really psyched about food. It's not all men, definitely. Like there are individual differences, But generally speaking, I think I'm not also a foodie person, but there is something about a good meal, right? I can eat rice 3 times daily. I can eat. I'm not the adventurous type. Food. I don't like food. In fact, like I said to some people some years back, if there was a tablet that you could take and you will never eat again, I will take that tablet. That you'll never have to think about food again by just taking a tablet. I will join the queue and take that tablet. I really don't like food, but there is something about it. I've had good meals that when you finish having a good meal and peace all around you, you can say you just feel good. So generally speaking, I think a good meal does wonders. What do you think about that? You may not be a foodie, you may not like food, and I hope you don't like food. Just liking food, just start valuing out, right? But generally, a good meal, right? There's that connection between a man's stomach and his heart. I don't know how. I don't know why it's there. But generally speaking, a good meal does. Okay, thank you. Thank you for understanding what I'm saying. Okay. Any other question? Any other question? Any other comment? You can also disagree with what I've said. No, could have said rubbish. It's possible. It's been known to happen sometimes. but it's not something that happens frequently. It's not something that happens frequently. All right. Any other question? Any other question? All right. In the absence of any other question, thank you so much, everyone that has joined us today. Please share this video on your Facebook page, share it on your Instagram, share it on your WhatsApp status. Let people know what you've learned. If you've gained something today, let people know you've gained something. Like the video, right? Like it. If you've not liked it, let's keep the interaction going. Until next time, next Friday, by the grace of God, at 3 p.m. Stay healthy, stay inspired. God bless you. Have a great weekend. Yeah, thank you too, Timmy Talker. Thank you too. God bless you.